This question comes from a loyal listener. The winner is Shelby Reitz. And Shelby has been a loyal fan to us here at Title 24 for many, many years. She's from Pennsylvania, and she's got a restaurant actually in Pennsylvania called 230 Cafe. Looks pretty good. Go check it out online. But nevertheless, great question here. Shelby asked, "What is the most surprising thing in the 450 outdoors this year? Hampshire being super consistent, Prado on the way." He gels with Kawasaki. Justin Cooper being number one seed going on to the playoffs. Outside of her question, RV, was there anything else in the 450 that surprised you that maybe she didn't mention? I think this is a great question.
No, I don't think so. Off the top of my head, no. But I will go that all three of her call it questions or who she's referring to were surprises. Justin Cooper, like she mentioned, being consistent, definitely solidifying himself as a third through fifth guy in that 450 class. I wasn't expecting necessarily that. I knew we all knew he was fast. We knew he had the capabilities of doing it, but week in and week out was the question I had. So he exceeded my expectations there. Set along with Justin Cooper. Really, once again, a third through fifth guy every single weekend, going in number one seed into SMX. So that is a little surprising. Obviously with Jet being hurt in Supercross, things worked out to where he's coming in number one seed. So that's good to see there. But I would say the biggest surprise of Pro Motocross for 2025 would be Jorge and just the struggles that he's dealt with. We've seen, obviously he alluded to some, being uncomfortable on the motorcycle. He was, he said he was giving 110% and so on and so on. And I said it at the start of Pro Motocross, his goal should be, fifth through eighth every single weekend, and trying to figure out the way we race here in the United States. And it was tough for him. He had a tough season. I think there's some, it's to be determined on where he's going to live, if he stays, if he goes. So I would say that was the biggest surprise on my end. That the expectations were maybe way too high for, his first full season here in the United States. It's tough. Like I said, I mentioned it, shows ago that, I went to Europe. I tried to go over there. Everything was just different. You had to do a lot of learning in a very, 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 very short time. So it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see where he lands, if he stays, if he goes, and then the hat's off, and there's no excuses at that if he does leave. If he stays and he pushes through and he gets better, that's what I expect, is for a guy at his level to improve. If he moves, the gloves are off, the hat's off, and he has to perform at that point, because if he's going to take that stance and say, oh, it's the machine, it's not me. If I was on X or any one of these other manufacturers, I could be up front winning. I think that's a massive pill to swallow. And if you can't swallow it next year, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah. I think that one of the biggest surprises for me is, I think we live in the world where if Jet doesn't win, we just assume it's going to be Chase, right? And like it's one of those two guys, and not even thinking about like Eli, Cooper Webb, guys like that who are multi-time champions. Like everyone is just so quick to think, oh, those guys are going to win it. I think Chase not taking the advantage of Jet going there is or Jet getting hurt, probably a missed opportunity. You know how it is when you miss those opportunities. They're hard to get another opportunity like that back when you have probably the best guy that is gone. Hell of a job for a dude like Cooper Webb to get in there, fight, and win that Supercross championship. He had just as good of a chance as Chase did. That was a surprise to me. And it's not a slight towards Coop at all, but Coop made it happen. Whether you know, whether Chase didn't like his bike or what have you. Like, no bike is perfect, RV, you know that. And like, he had just as good of an opportunity and he didn't get the job done. I was really surprised at that.
Yeah, now that you say that, RC, yeah, that's that between Coop and Chase, very, very good, view on that.
Right? Like, I just assumed, like, when Jet went out, and I didn't talk about it on the show because I didn't like. I thought it was, I mean, like, oh, dude, Chase has got this simple, you know.
Especially with Coop dealing with his thumb, right? Like he dealt with his thumb
Yeah,
all Supercross
bingo,
season also.
bingo, yeah. So that was a Shelby. That was a surprise to me. But Justin Cooper being number one, I mean, not a total shock. Love his consistency. That just shows you how important it is to be consistent. I think Malcolm did great. As far as like being, yeah, again, to her question, Shelby, like the biggest shock. It's tough, you know, like there's so many things that happen. I thought RJ did good, but it wasn't a complete shock to me as well. I'm stoked for him. I'm excited for his chances. I will say, like with Prado, RV, I'm with you. Like, I gotten to the point, listen, I think it's great to have a guy like Prado in the SMX World Championship. I love what he's all about. He's a great kid. I was bummed kind of towards the end of the series. Like, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt and get it turned around. But, dude, I've talked to a couple of guys at that Cowie team, and AC did a great job laying it out there. He wasn't holding anything back last week on his and Justin's podcast about Prado. But I don't know. I almost feel like that ship has sailed. Something has got to change, or something is going to change, is where I'm at with it. And like, I've kind of like lost interest in it. I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's just the same old thing all the time. So I'm kind of like to the point with him. Like, I want him to do well because I like him. And I think he's great to have him in the series. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, whatever. And then if he goes out and does well, and then we'll give us something to talk about.
That's right. That's right.
Congratulations, Shelby, on the quad lock question of the week. That's awesome. Thanks for being a loyal listener. I know JH already got you dialed in. So enjoy that quad lock swag. I'm sure you'll like it. And give him a shout out on Instagram.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports. If you enjoyed what you just watched, well, it's time to bring the action and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel. You can have it all: news, highlights, interviews, and analysis. So go for it.